All right. We are back, baby. How was our... We might bump this up just a wee bit. There we go. Okay. Welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday, which is our push day. So I've had a interesting couple of days. Oh. Oh, Atlas, what's up, man? Good morning, how are you? Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. How are you? How's your week been? This is a calling. Nothing can stop us now. We'll stay. Hey, Speedy, how's it going, man? Good morning. I'm doing good. I'm good, Alice. It's been an interesting couple of days this week. Thus, kind of an off stream schedule. Almost tripped and ate shit. Had jury duty. So that's been kind of the big thing, is having to go, to the courthouse and all that. But we are no longer a prospective juror, and yeah, life is back to normal, but it's been nothing like getting your jury summons and kind of the inconveniences that come with that. But, I have to do my duty as a, citizen of my county to partake in our legal system. So that was the big thing this week, but now we're back. So yeah, all this to say, a little bit of jury duty kind of threw a wrench in our week, but it's all good. It's Thursday. Some people go as far as to say it's Friday Eve. I'm one of those people. We're nearly to the weekend, so should be a good one. How's your week been? I get these shoulders going. There we go. All right. Also, please let me know if the music is too much or too loud. This is a bit of a new addition here to the stream, so. And I'm a metal fan, so that's kind of what we've got going, but Drop it just a smidge, if that's better. But yeah, let me know, please, what you guys think, if it's too loud. Because I don't have headphones in, so I don't know. I don't know what we're working with, but for the day, right, we've got push day. Yesterday, like midday, I didn't stream it, but I did get a pull day in. So we're kind of back on track. Took, a few more days off than I would have liked. I mean, maybe not the worst thing in the world, but kind of is what it is. But we are now back. I almost said back on our BS, but we're back on our grind. So I'm just scrolling through rows and rows of this spreadsheet. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is a pretty dense workout. We got a lot to get through, and we started a little late, but that is okay. We're gonna start off with some incline bench, 3 sets, 10 to 12. See how that goes. We'll do some shoulder press as well, some lateral raises, some tricep work, some flies. You already know. Pretty standard push day for us here at the MeatHaus. So, yeah, we'll get this set up. We'll bop on over to this corner. So, yeah, looking forward to a good training day. Oh, Speedy, you'll be doing upper later on, chest, biceps, triceps. Dude, love that. For your upper, do you also hit your delts on your upper days? Oh. Sorry, am I still? Yeah. I'm here in this corner just setting up our adjustable dumbbells. 20, 30. 20, 30, 40, and 50 on that side. 20, 30, 40, 50. So we'll do a couple sets here with the 50s just to get our warm up in, and then we'll get to our working weight. Okay, and then you do back, shoulders, hips, and legs. Interesting. Interesting. I know you said later on you'll be training. Do you typically train in the morning? Or I guess probably not. Do you typically train like after work in the evenings? 20, 30, 40, 50. 30, 20, 30, 40, 50. There we go. Oh, look who it is. Bowser's Big Bean Burrito. What's up, man? Happy Thursday. We're nearly to the weekend. Hope you're having a good week, man. Oh, you train in the evenings when you wake up. Got it. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I'm a morning cat, so ever since I updated my I'm an iPhone user, and I updated to the liquid glass or whatever update, the most recent iOS. And my alarm just has stopped working, basically. Evening when I wake up, but technically your morning. Yeah, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. All right. Like I said, we'll do a couple warm-up sets before we get into our working weight. Again, incline press. Goal is to, of course, bias our upper chest, not take a huge kind of power lifter's arch for this movement. You know, solid range of motion, great contraction, good stimulus, all those things. Okay, there we go. Bump up. Just a little bit for our next warm-up. And we'll keep this train on the tracks. Oh. Man, it feels so good that it's finally cooling off out here. It's been still pretty warm. Oh, Speedy, you do night shifts? Yeah, I kind of assumed when you said that you train in the evenings after you wake up. I had a feeling you were a night shift kind of warrior, which, man, kudos to you for doing that kind of stuff. I'm too soft for that kind of stuff. I like my normal circadian rhythm and sleep patterns. All right. There we go. Cool. So we'll do one more warm-up set, and then we'll get into the next little bit. I know we've talked about on a lot of these streams, you know, we're in this gaining phase. So at the start of the year, we got pretty lean, very lean, down to like 165-ish, maybe like 160, between like 163 and 165, whatever the average is. I would have to go back and look. And that was till about end of March, and then from April 1st through, you know, now, right, end of October, so April, May, June, July, August, September. So in about 7 months, we've basically put that weight all back on. So I'm back up to about 180, so gaining, you know, about, what, half a pound a week, thereabout, right? 2 pounds a month, more or less. So pretty manageable rate of gain, I think. So this morning we're back in the 180s. Probably gonna keep this gaining phase going for another 10 or 15 pounds, to be honest. Probably stop around like 190, 195. See what that looks like, and however long that takes to get there, and then we'll cut back down again, and we will just stay on this hamster wheel of trying to be in a gaining phase for as long as we can until we look like shit, and then we will cut back down. So, yeah, there's the weight update for everybody. warm-ups all done. Let's get into the meat of today's training session. So 20, 30, 40, 50. 60. And then we'll do this guy. But we have been making, pretty solid progress over time. So, one thing we've also kind of been talking about on stream is mindset shifts and how I guess I'm kind of adjusting my thinking and my thought process to be more in line with my training goals. So, not to say, beating your kind of logbook or your spreadsheet, right, and making strength progress over time isn't important, because it definitely is. Right, what gets measured gets improved, all those things, but not getting kind of so hung up and kind of hyper fixated on chasing numbers, right, and thinking, if I don't add a rep week over week, or if we don't add 5 pounds to a lift, right, every week, we're not making progress, right? Because progress isn't linear, right? Especially as you get, not saying I'm some like advanced elite level lifter, but as you get more advanced, it gets more difficult to chase progress. And so shifting, I guess, a bit of my mindset too. Are we providing stimulus and fatiguing the muscles that we are trying to fatigue each training session, and not looking necessarily at kind of like week over week over week progress compared to the last week, because so many factors, right? Hydration, nutrition, did you sleep, cortisol, how is stress being managed, right? What's life looking like? All those factors kind of impact and can impact kind of a training session day to day. So more so focusing on like, what do the kind of month to month changes look like? What do like training blocks over time look like? Subjectively, how are we looking? All those kinds of things. But anyways, we have 60s. Again, we're going for sets of 12. Trying to be stable, right, with our feet, but not kind of relying on that big powerlifter's arch or anything like that to adjust the angle of our chest and all that stuff. So anyways, here we go. Okay. Oh, there's one. Not bad. We can do the old switch. swing the camera around and we'll get our spreadsheet pulled up and get everything logged. There we go. Okay. Like I'm looking at hammer curls. Like I've done 30s for sets of like 12 to 15-ish, you know, like 10 to 15-ish. I've done 30s for weeks and weeks and weeks. You know, just bringing it back to what we were talking about before. But there was a time when we were rocking 25s, you know, but if I was to add 5 pounds or 2.5, I mean, we'll use 5 pounds because it's easier math. If we're gonna do 5 pounds to our hammer curls every week, 52 weeks in a year, it's like 300 pounds, you know? I'm not ending the year hammer curling 300 pounds, right? Progressive overload just isn't linear. That's not how it works. There you go. Could you imagine how huge I would be if I was hammer curling 300 pounds? Maybe one day, but today is not that day. Honestly, that's never gonna happen. That would be nuts. Oh. All right. So we're one set in, 2 more. This workout ends up being really a lot of dumbbell work, which I don't mind. You know, instead of dumbbells, you could use a barbell, you could use like a plate loaded hammer strength, you could use a machine press, like so many kind of variations in terms of chest pressing movements that could be done. Pick what you like and stick with it for a while and kind of track your progress and see what happens. Here in the MeatHaus, right, we're somewhat limited in our exercise selection just based on the equipment that we have. And right now we're rocking dumbbells. So here we go. Come on. Oh. Ooh. Okay. Oh. Okay. 11. All right. Hit 10. Hit 11. Oh, we've got uno más. On these guys. All right. Go. Right on. Over here. You know, here at the MeatHaus, we pride ourselves on our sick angles and cinematography, so. Now what, when I lay back? Oh yeah. I mean, it's like straight crotch angle, so sorry about that. We'll bump the camera angle up just a bit so you're not laser focused on my crotch. This might be a little better. Oh, yeah, that'll work. Okay, so we have one more. It's pretty comfortable, actually. This isn't too bad. Just get a little, let that heart rate come down just a bit. And we'll do our last set. Keep making those gains. Oh. 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 But everybody, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. No, there's lots of ways and places and people you could spend your time and attention on, so thanks for clicking on the stream. It means a lot to our little garage gym operation out here. So, thank you. If you're training today, hope you have a good training session. If it's a rest day, hope you eat good, sleep good, all that stuff. I know it's Thursday. Hopefully, if your day's just getting started, you don't have a ton of internal meetings or a one-on-one with your boss, and you can just have a nice Thursday at work. Or if your day's done and you're over in Europe or Asia or some other part of the world, and your day's already finished, tomorrow's Friday, baby, and I hope you have a nice evening. All right, last set. We gotta push ourselves. Here we go. Oh, my left pec, feeling a little something like out here in this bit. So we're gonna call it right there. I'm gonna make just a little note. To myself, so I know for next time. I put left pec meh, which should be good enough for me. Okay. So main kind of pressing movement for, oh, the camera's over here. What up? So main pressing movement for our chest, all taken care of. Our other kind of main focus here, excuse me, are our delts. So we will drop the tripod down just a bit. I know that this is like, you know, some like Blair Witch Project, you know, type filming. I'm so scared, oh my God. But we'll drop it down, drop it low, and we'll set up our seat for our dumbbell shoulder press. So, I'm actually thinking, because I have the wheels on the front, I might need to swap them and put the wheels in the back. Oh. Or I could do, you know, wheels on both sides. Yeah, we'll figure it out. This bench isn't bad though. I do like it. We can back our zoom up just a bit. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, we'll go like that. And so for this, similar to our incline bench, we're going to be doing 3 sets 10 to 12 on some seated dumbbell shoulder press. 20, 30, 40, 45. Candidly, I do not have the biggest nor the strongest shoulders. I do think one of the biggest flexes you can have is having a huge overhead press. You know, like people say, you know, there's all the jokes about like being able to bench 225 and, you know, you're not a real, like you've made it once you've benched 225, blah, blah, blah. The real test of strength is when you can overhead press 225. Like if you're overhead pressing 2 wheels, like, dude, you're a beast. No small dude has ever 20, 30, 40. No small dude has ever stood up there and ripped a 225 overhead press. So that's when you know you really made it. And when you're jacked, one day that won't happen to me because I don't want to snap my shit, but if you're the guy or gal out there that can hit a 225 overhead press, congrats. Especially, I mean, there was like the stat that said like less than 1% of the population can bench 225, like globally. Like think of globally the number of people that can overhead press 225. Just like statistically, it has to be so few people. All right, like I said, 3 sets, 10 to 12. Let's try and build some shoulders. There's one. $45 for 12, okay. Wheel ya to a different angle. There you go. There you go. do think building another light square. I know you guys can't see it, but right up here, we have those little hex lights. I mean, even if I just did like, would it even fit? It probably would. Boom. And the only thing is this garage door rail is probably gonna get in the way. That's okay. I mean, we could probably get enough light coverage that would work, so that way it doesn't look like I'm, I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Not really a y'all problem. We'll think about it. We'll think about it. Okay. Tomorrow we got legs. This weekend we have Halloween festivities with the kids. I was talking to my wife, and I cannot leave October without having some pumpkin pancakes. I don't know why. It's time of the year. I love the spices. I love the flavor. And we're either going to IHOP or something to get some pumpkin pancakes, or we're going to the grocery store and, you know, I'll look up. Someone out there is gonna have some sort of recipe for pumpkin pancakes, and that's what we're gonna do. I'm fixing for some pumpkin pancakes. Ugh. But before we look up pumpkin pancake recipes, we have a set of shoulder press. All right, here we go. Come on. Oh. Oh. Okay. All right, we got one more set of these. Whew. You know, just trying to build those coconut shoulders. Sorry, the group chat with the homies popping off. You know, gotta say, having a close group of friends is important, I think, especially as you get older. It gets harder to make friends, all that kind of stuff. I'd say I'm pretty fortunate to have a good group of buddies. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. What does today look like work-wise? Yeah. We got a few meetings. That's all good. It's what we signed up for. Ugh. That guy down. Get one more little drink of water. The astute viewer may have noticed our little our little pink cup, or blue cup with our pink lid, it cracked. So I actually threw it away the other day. I had that cup almost 5 years. You know, as protein shaker cups go, 5 years is a pretty long run. And yeah, it broke, and they opened up a brand new Walmart not too long ago. And my wife went, they were giving out shaker cups. So now we're rocking the Walmart branded shaker cup. So what does it say? BPA free and all that stuff, probably. Yeah, BPA free, non-toxic plastic, made in China. It's okay. What'd they say? People's brains are 5% microplastics these days, so I'm not too concerned. We'll be all right. Okay. Here we go, Bulldogs. Ugh. Last set. Again, we're going for 10 to 12. We went 12, like 11-ish. You think I'm joking? That's literally what I put in my spreadsheet. I put 11-ish. And so for this guy, 10 or 11, that's what we're going for. So here we go. Oh, this feels heavy. Oh, come on. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. So actually, before I forget, we're gonna do 10-ish for our shoulder press. Okay, so we're, you know, kind of cruising along through this push day. Did primary compound chest press, right? Incline dumbbell. Again, you could do a flat bench. You could do incline barbell, hammer strength, nautilus chest press, right? Pick a selectorized kind of chest press that you like, stick with it for, I don't know, 3 to 6 months, right? Track progress over time, push yourself, get close to failure, yada, yada. Doesn't really matter all that much. Pick what you like. Did that. We did dumbbell shoulder press. So kind of main pressing movement for our delts. So we hit those two kind of back to back. Excuse me. Because more kind of more of a compound movement, more fatiguing, two kind of areas of my physique that I really want to hammer and hit hard. So training them earlier on in my session. We do incline dumbbell kind of chest press before we do the shoulder press, because in my experience, training chest does kind of cause fatigue to delts to a degree, but training delts before chest really impacts my chest training. So it's kind of the, you know, lesser of two evils for how we're going about things. We're gonna move into the isolation type movements. So first thing, now we're going to do some dumbbell flies. So we'll set up 25 pounds and we'll get that fun stuff going. hear the trash guys. Trash man, give me your trash. Man. Where are you going, barnacle? Man. Ugh. And I can eat adult-sized Krabby Patties. Ugh. That's our good pal, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. Okay, so while I'm getting these here dumbbells set up, one kind of stream of consciousness for you guys is, as I'm doing these, have to admit, a huge fear of mine is like tearing a pec, or like on preacher curls, like tearing a bicep, and or like tearing a rotator cuff. Basically, like snapping my shit while training is not something I ever want to experience, and I don't think anybody watching these streams or any of my videos is looking to have happen to them either. And so this is not me kind of making an excuse for not training hard. I'd say that this falls more into the I'm trying to train smart, rather. And if I had, access to, say, like a pec deck, or like a dual kind of cable system, right? Where I could kind of overload, and it's a bit more stable than just, ripping some dumbbells. I would maybe push, sorry, I know I'm giving you guys my butt as I'm bending over. I would probably push the weight a bit more. I'd push the intensity on these a bit more. But we just have dumbbells. And so as a result, really like 30 pounds is where I kind of draw the line, at least right now. Maybe when I'm bigger and stronger, I'll bump that up to 35 or 40 pounds, right? But I don't think there's ever a world where someone is safely dumbbell flying 60-pound dumbbells, right? Like that's just, it's not happening. At least not in my world. And so for these, I'd much rather, use, like here, I'm using 25s, and stay more kind of in this bottom 2/3 to maintain tension on my chest as best as I can. So yeah, would love a pec deck at some point, or like I said, a cable system at some point. But for now, we're rocking dumbbells, and we're going to use them pretty much as safely as we can without, again, YOLO lifting and hurting myself, especially as the weight gets, further out from kind of your central kind of plane line or whatever, right? So guys, you're up here, right? No real tension. You're just kind of holding the weight. I mean, maybe in like your delts and stuff. And then as you get, you know, wider and wider and wider, right, there's much more pull and strain on your pecs and probably your front delts as well. So I'm trying to stay kind of in that 2/3 kind of range to where I'm not all the way up here, right? I mean, I guess the contraction here might be better, but the dumbbells get in the way, so it's kind of more like this. But we're trying to stay kind of in this zone if we're not going to be slamming shitloads of weight. So yeah, there we go. Okay, very cool. All right, we'll do our next set here. Putting into practice everything we just talked about. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so we're 2 sets in. Again, not YOLOing these flies. Might have seen a horse fly. Maybe even a house fly. But you ain't never seen a donkey fly. Shout out to Shrek. Okay. Uno mas. Then we'll do some more delts, and we'll wrap this baby up with our triceps when we get there. But yeah. So a little bit more work we got to get through, and then we have work, which, you know, love it or hate it, you got to do it. Also, normally I prep breakfast the night before. I'm an overnight oats enjoyer, and played myself. I didn't prep my oats last night for this morning, so that's annoying, but you know, shit happens. We'll be okay. But I was just thinking, man, I'm a little hungry. Only to come to the realization that I didn't make myself breakfast last night. But whatever. That's showbiz, baby. We will be okay. All right, last set of these. Okay. There we go. Okay. Where are we? 20s. That's right. Okay. So we will now get to the part where we kind of wheel this bench out of the way. Sometimes I feel like almost like a Looney Tunes character where I'm like, you know, that like Scooby-Doo run. Oh, too loud. Oh. Okay. There we go. I know, oops. There we go. All right. MeatHaus. Burr, 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 burr. All right. So we have our dumbbell shoulder, or not dumbbell shoulder press. We have our lateral raises to get to. Free yourself and make it last forever. Don't you let them take you down. Okay. That is not the song that is playing because we're using copyright-free music, so we don't get copyright struck. But what I was singing was a band called Cold Rain. They're like a post-hardcore metal band, and they rock, actually, literally. They rock and roll. Oh. Okay, let's refresh that. Welcome to your revelation. And we need, what do we need? 20 pounds. All right, so we're doing lateral raises. As you know, I'm a kind of hang off the rack enjoyer of these. Trying to build those capped delts, right? Derek, moreplatesmoredates.com calls them, you know, Death Star delts. Some people call them coconut shoulders. Namely me, I call them coconut shoulders. Boulder shoulders, right? Pick a noun to put in front of shoulders, so we'll make it a compound noun, I guess. And, or you could use an adjective, right? And we will, that's what we're looking to build here. So I'm right behind the camera at our adjustable dumbbells, getting a 20-pound dumbbell sit up. There we go. So much for being called the quick locks. Not so quick now, are you? And we can boop, do kind of like that. So again, I'm a hang off of the rack kind of guy. Here, we'll wait for the camera to kind of catch up. There we go. And here we go. Oh, 15. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. Okay, there we go. So there's one set, right? Obviously do this unilaterally. So we're doing left side, which is my weaker arm. And then we'll do our right side. So we got 2 more of these. I think I have, I don't know, when looking at genetics, right, when it comes to bodybuilding, right, I think it's easy to go, oh, that guy's only bigger than me because he has better genetics. And that's not kind of what I'm getting at. I'm getting at more like my shape and like symmetry and stuff like that. And, you know, things for kind of that X frame, right? So broad shoulders, small waist, big quads. So for, right, the shoulders, you don't want narrow collarbones, right? You want wider collarbones to give you kind of that, oh, that guy has broad shoulders, for example, right? Is having wider collarbones. And so I think I have I don't have like super narrow collarbones where I'm like, you know, tiny and scrawny. But I also don't have like super wide collarbones. I'd say pretty average, all things considered. I don't know, I've never like measured the angle, but just living in my body for 32 years, I might have a somewhat of an opinion. Maybe average, maybe below average, I don't know. But to create the illusion of being broader than I am, right? A great way to do that is by literally making yourself bigger. So bigger and wider lats, bigger, more capped delts, all of those things will create the illusion of being, you know, I mean, literally will make you bigger and broader, but also in comparison to individuals who maybe genetically have broader and wider collarbones, will assist, you know, with those types of things. So I also know, like, genetically, your boy has huge femurs, right? I've shown this before. Yeah, I'd have to back like all the way up. Like my hip bone is like right here, right? And my shorts sit, this is the top of my shorts, this is where my hip bone is, right? So where my hips are compared to like where my waist is kind of interesting, because then my kneecap, like your boy's all femur. And so to, again, create the illusion that I train legs, which I do, I just need to pack on so much lower body mass to fill out how much leg I have. And anyways, all this to say, we got to build big delts. We need big lats, and we need big legs. Are pretty big priorities for me. So yeah, second set. Okay. Of course, you don't have to use dumbbells. You could use a cable system or like a machine lateral raise. Lots of different options to hit these for folks that access a regular kind of commercial gym. Ugh. Okay, so there's 2. Got 1 more. And then we need to do our tricep work, and then we will be all done. Oh, not a bad little bicep vein going. Especially on we're 15 pounds heavier than we were when we ended our cut, and still decently vascular. So we'll take that. I guess that's the power of the long, slow gaining phase instead of the just we're eating cookies and ice cream diet, which I still do, but not routinely. But we gotta hit 3,100 calories somehow. And sometimes, you know, a little sweet treat sneaks its way in, you know? Maybe a little Kit Kat. Hey-o. I'm also pretty partial to the peanut butter and Nutella sandwich, which long term probably isn't the best, but my kid really likes Nutella, and I do too, so hey, guess what? Daddy needs carbs. So we're throwing some Nutella. Whoa, see ya! What's up, dude? Happy Thursday night. What's going on? All right. I'm good, dude. I'm good. Just, you know, hitting our push day, trying to build these delts a little bit. I'm good, man. I'm good. You're at your friend's grad. Dude, don't even worry. Get out of here. Go have fun. Spend time with your buddies. That is more important than watching this stream. And thank you. I appreciate you coming and saying hey. Always a pleasure seeing our boy Sia. Thank you for stopping by. But dude, by all means, go live real life. Have fun. Tell your buddy congratulations. Go celebrate them. Have a nice time. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. You know, we'll be hitting legs. If you're around, we'd love to see you. But dude, thanks for saying hey, but go on and get out of here. All right, third set. Ugh. Oh. My delts. You know, this is where current MeatHaus, which wishes past MeatHaus, cooked himself breakfast already and had it prepped. Because I'm hungry. All right, 1. Okay. Lateral raises. Done, done, done. Oh. Whew. Man, next time Big Dog is here, I gotta tell him thank you. 24, 15. Okay. Alrighty, so what's up, YouTube? We just did our lateral raises, right? We're kind of 2 sets on chest, or 2 sets. 2 exercises for chest, right? Incline bench, and then we did flies. We did 2 exercises for delts. We did shoulder press, and we did lateral raises. Now we gotta hit, you know, hit our triceps and build those bad boys. And so we have 2 exercises, I almost said to get through, almost like it's a chore. But what a privilege, you know, to be able to, what a privilege to be able to train my triceps live on stream. Wow. All right. So some people do, you know, skull crushers. Those kind of hurt my elbows a bit, to be honest. They don't feel the best for me. So rather than doing, you know, some kind of like strict skull crusher, right, where you might have your arms kind of like here, or maybe you're here, and doing them, I do more of a JM press, which is more of like a close grip bench kind of skull crusher hybrid type thing. And you'll see here in a sec once we get the easy bar. Well, the easy bar is set up, it's sitting in the rack. But once we get started here, I'll get a better idea for what I'm talking about, where it's not, you know, fully a skull crusher. It's not really a close grip close grip bench. It's kind of this, I don't want to say like bastardization because it is a good lift, but it's not, you know, maybe what you see other folks doing. I say maybe because I don't know. I'm going to move our mic kind of off. Little microphone. Hey. We'll move this kind of over here, so that way I don't accidentally destroy it. And we will, yeah, get this going. So I do like these JM presses on the easy bar. Not that they're like easy to perform, because I think technique is still obviously like important. Where your kind of elbow path goes kind of changes the tricep head that's going to be targeted. I'm not, you know, an anatomy student, so I'm not going to tell you what. I'm just going to kind of tell you what I do. So get this, plop on down. Like I said, oh, my triceps are already feeling it. Oh, okay, that felt interesting, but not like, you know, interesting bad, just like the amount of stimulus that I was feeling there was kind of no joke. And in between sets, I'm kind of slightly off screen here while I set up for our last exercise that we will hit after these JM presses. And for it, we need a kind of a janky cable system setup thing to make it work. So that's what we're getting set up. 7 text messages from the boys. Already popping off. Oh, like I was saying, gotta love having the homies. There we go. And we do need to, I'm about to say, we need to kind of pick up the pace as I'm texting my buddies back. So, gotta prioritize a little bit. Here we go. Oh. Here we go. Okay. I'm definitely gonna need to go back and watch how that looked, because, oh man, we're really feeling, are you feeling it, Mr. Krabs? We're really feeling it in our tricep, which is where we want to, you know, apply stimulus and all that stuff. You guys get it, but for real, me triceps be burning just in time for some cross-body, I guess we'll kind of call them, tricep extension type deals. And for this, part of the reason why I was setting up the chain system is because we're doing this on the lat tower. There's not a ton of kind of travel space here, and so what ends up happening, and might happen now, even while doing this, is the arm, right, that goes down the plates where this pin inserts isn't really long enough. And so if I do these, is this gonna work? Let's see. So as I do these, okay, it is gonna work. Whew. Okay. I'll give you guys this angle. And so for these, right, I use these straps through our little carabiner for this lat tower. But the problem is it goes 10 pounds to 20 pounds, and whatever the pulley ratio is, 10 pounds is probably too light, and 20 pounds is like just too heavy. So we have to use my other arm to kind of assist, grab my arm, other arm, my other arm. We end up having to grab and assist, especially in kind of the, yeah, really kind of through the whole range of motion, to be honest. But we're trying to build, you know, a little horseshoe back there, make it look like we got kicked in the back of the arm by a horse. As Matthew McConaughey says, it's the workhouse muscle. Workhorse. Workhouse? Workhorse muscle. So, doing the best with what we got. But I'll put it to 10 pounds this time and see. Because the other problem is, like I was saying, oh, this works. It's just a little, see? You guys hear that? It's because it gets stuck. Unless what if I go up on my tippy toes, it works better. Okay. And just like that, we're troubleshooting on the fly and finding better ways to train this. All right. You're gonna see me stand on my little tippy toes, because otherwise, over here, the deal gets stuck. Okay. And just like that, it got stuck again. Okay, if you stand like this. Okay. Motherfucker. Oh, whoa, whoa. I'm stepping on a whole bunch of shit. Okay. And there we go, baby. There's triceps. And that brings us to the end of today's training session. So if you've made it this far, thanks for being here. I appreciate you all. As always, there's lots of places and ways you could spend. How are those calves looking? Not bad. I mean, not looking terrible. Could it be better? Definitely, but not the worst. Anyways, there's lots of places and ways you could spend your time. That's not lost on me. So I do appreciate anybody who stops by these streams on Twitch or over on YouTube, right? We're the MeatHaus pretty much everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, or not Facebook, who uses Facebook? YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, obviously here on Twitch. So appreciate you all for stopping by these streams. Pretty solid training session today. So quick wrap up on our push day. We did incline dumbbell, some dumbbell shoulder press, dumbbell flies, lateral raises, JM press, and then kind of the crossbody tricep extension to wrap things up. We will be back tomorrow for a little legs Benedict to wrap up the week before we head into the weekend. Again, if you like these kinds of streams, like hanging out, like chatting, all that fun stuff, please consider following here on Twitch, subscribing over on YouTube, all that fun stuff. We do have a Discord that I need to spend more time in and do more stuff in. But yeah, as always, thank you guys for being here. It means a lot. You all have been great. We've been the MeatHaus. Have good days. Happy Thursday. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Finger guns. And I'll see you hasta mañana.